Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and we've got some news about Scorponok that broke, well, yesterday. And I would have included it in my news, but it came a little bit late, so now I'm going to talk about it today. And it's kind of exciting, and I just said, hey, there's not going to be many reveals for the next few weeks because, well, we've got Toy Fair coming up, and guess what? We got a reveal. So let's get right into it. So here's the picture that's floating around, and looks like we get to see a few things on this. First thing we see up top, of course, the Skylynx, which everybody was excited about a Skylynx, kind of hoping it would be a Titan class, but it's going to be a Commander class. But this is actual pictures of it, and we can kind of see it in action there. Doesn't look, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. The next thing we've got here is the Scorponok, which of course, Scorponok is the big news of all of it, because we were really wanting to see what Scorponok's going to look like. And I think it's good. I think it's good. And is any of this going to ruin Toy Fair? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I'm going to say it up front. And then moving down below, we got a few other things like the Battle Masters, and we've got some Micro Masters, and of course stuff we already know is coming with Wheeljack and Ironworks. So let's get right into talking about Scorponok first. So first thing I want to talk about here is the robot mode and how it looks. Now, I took the little tiny picture and through the power of technology, because we have the technology, made it bigger, but it's really pixelated. So this is the reason this doesn't really ruin Toy Fair for us. So the fact that we don't get to see all the little details, it's almost like a silhouette with this type of resolution. So anyhow, we do get to see a few things about it that we'll talk about, and a few things that I like, and a few things that I'm curious about. But getting right into the overall design, next to the G1, and then of course next to the movie steel here, the show steel, you can see that it looks pretty spot on. It looks pretty close to what I was expecting. I do see something in the back that looks kind of like a square backpack type thing, which, by the way, doesn't bother me at all. It's just what it looks like through this digitized look here. But aside from that, it looks really sleek all over, and it really does match the tune really well. I did notice something trying to find more stills for the tune. Some parts of the tune show the lower legs as purple, and this shows the lower legs as green, just like the G1 toy, which is why I'm glad they went that route, because it bounces back and forth a lot, and you really don't have a whole lot of shots with a full body of Scorponok. It's really hard to get. So let's get deep into just the tune version, or sorry, the toy version versus the new EARTHRISE. And what we see here is, starting at the top, we got the head, and I think the head is more proportional, or more proportionate to the figure in a character than what the G1 toy was. It's taller, slimmer, narrower, and I like that. So moving down, we still have the guns on the shoulders. Moving to the chest, we have a similar type chest cover, but it's not as big. Not as prominent. It doesn't take as much as the chest as the G1 figure does. And then you got a sleeker waistline, and then the hips aren't all big and wide and chunky, which I thought was kind of odd about the G1 figure in the first place. But now you've got more narrower, which is more of a heroic kind of form. And then sliding down to the legs are a bit longer, and it has more of sort of the tune accurate look than the G1 does. And yeah, just really, it looks good. The one thing that looks a bit odd to me is the claws. Like, I think this is posed where the arms are facing forward a bit and not straight down to the side. And I really think that's why this looks like that. Once we get to Toy Fair, we'll see for sure. Once his hands are down to the side, I'm sure his hands will get closer to the knees like the G1. But who knows? I don't know, 100% sure. But that's just kind of my assumption based on all this fun pixelation. Now, with this being one of the better full-body shots of Scorponok that I could capture, it shows the... it doesn't really show the lower legs very well at all, but it does show it all being purple. It does look like it breaks up to the green, which is one of my irritations with this whole animation situation. So anyway, I think they did right with the color scheme, and I think this color scheme looks good. And then, so going back up to the top, the face looks like it's gonna be the right color, and the head and all that. We did see early renders of what the head's gonna look like, sort of, but it wasn't painted and all that. So I'm looking forward to seeing it painted and painted prototype up. But this shows a black chest versus a silver chest. So that was something that I'm like, okay, I could go either way. It really is not the end of the world to me. And then you see the little red round spots on the hands, the claws, I guess you could say, and it has that. So looks pretty good. I mean, I think it's true to G1. I really like that they're going true to G1. I think they're doing a really good job with the Siege line and going into EARTHRISE. I am excited. And one question that pops into my mind when I talk about Scorponok, I think about Omega Supreme. I think about them ending up at Ollie's, or people going, oh, I'm just going to wait for them to get it at Ollie's or Ross or TJ Maxx or wherever places you find them for $40 or $60 or whatever. And I'm not seeing it with the Omega Supreme. I really thought by now we would have seen something popping up with Omega Supreme, maybe here in the next couple of months. But what I'm actually seeing is Amazon sold out and the price through the roof through third-party sellers, which is different than what we usually see with the Titan class. The other thing I'm seeing, TF Source has upped their price to $179, so it's like up another $20 higher, and usually at this time they're clearancing them out. So I'm a little surprised by that tactic, which makes me think that they produced less of the Omega Supreme, and I wonder how many of this are going to produce, because if they produce less, there's less chance of getting it cheaper. So I'm probably just going to pre-order mine and bite the bullet and pay the $160, because I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's a hole in most people's collections anyway. Alright, so let's look at a nice pixelated Scorpion mode here. And yeah, it looks good. I think it looks right on and spot on. And from this, it does look like the arms are longer than we saw in the first picture, just you see from its right claw. And so I think it was just the angle and the way it went. But I think this is pretty true to the animation, more or less. The animation doesn't have the silver on the upper arms, which, okay, so, I mean, it is what it is. But it's not going to be perfect. Hard to make out the detail in the legs, in the Scorpion mode legs, and I think the tail is a little bit small. You know what, I'm not going to nitpick this thing. I'm really excited about it, and truth be told, I probably won't have it in alt mode very much at all, because I will display mine in robot mode, and that is where the money is for me on that figure. But let's look at the alt mode. I think this alt mode, really the base mode, shines. That is a nice looking base mode, considering some of the other base modes that we've seen, and, you know, versus the G1 and versus all of that. I think it looks good. I do. And even all super pixelated and enhanced, I think it still looks really good. And with that, I think it's all going to be integrated real well. And this is the Lord Zarak character here. Hey, it's a better look at it. I guess it's painted, but you really don't see much detail because of the, you know, extreme pixelation and all that stuff. But again, hard to get a really good screenshot of the whole base there, but looks sort of true to animation. I don't know about the two pillars on the sides there, but anyway, I'm excited for this, and I think both those modes are great. The Scorpion mode probably gets like a C+ or B-. So far, we'll find out at Toy Fair. So not to rob any of these other pictures of their time, but I did actually. But here we have Skylynx. Now I'm looking at this and I'm really thinking that this guy does not split into two. So I might be wrong. I might be wrong. They may only show these modes, but it doesn't look like it's going to split into two like the G1 did. I might be wrong, of course, because, you know, I've been wrong once or twice in my life. But I still think it looks good. I still think it looks cool. And it's, you know, going to be Commander class. So the overall figure, I mean, just kind of think about the size of the Skyfire, Jetfire. Then you kind of got the size of this thing. So it's not going to be huge. It's not going to be like NMC size or anything like that, which is kind of what I was hoping for. But hey, it probably looks like it's going to be all self-contained in one box and not going to sell in two separate boxes. So that was a concern too some people had. But anyway, does look really cool. And you know, this extra little launch pad mode, I think that looks cool also. So here are the little Battle Masters. I think they look pretty cool. Yeah, they're alright. They get the job done. I do like Target Masters myself, and so I like those little gimmicks. I think that with the blast effects that they had, that was cool, and the rung and the singe and stuff that's coming out, that stuff's cool too. So just more of these kind of things that we have. Also, there's the Micro Masters assortment in there, so showing that good stuff. And I think some of this stuff's already shown up at retail, so but yeah, they look pretty cool too. Anyway, the big news was all about Scorponok and the release. I'm really excited about Toy Fair this year. I would really like to hear, is everybody else excited about Toy Fair? You think that we're going to be getting some really awesome reveals? Are we going to just, you know, see what we've already heard of? Is there any other new characters that are going to show up at Toy Fair that are just going to blow our minds? Are we going to know everything already? I mean, it's kind of fun to know a little bit, but it is kind of fun to get a surprise and to find something new out. Anyway, like, subscribe, leave me something in the comments, let me know what you think. Hanger out.